Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer of Trisha Lambert's totally raw, emotional memoir, Wild, Beautiful, Free. Today, we're really zoning in on a journey that, honestly, I think so many of us can relate to. It's that massive shift from self-deception, just settling for whatever, to completely reclaiming your true, authentic identity.
So tell me, have you ever ignored your own intuition, just shoved it down, all to hold on to a relationship? There's this incredibly powerful realization from the author early on. She says, I learned the hard way that the person who lied to me the most was me. Man, that's heavy, right? It's that tendency to tell ourselves literally whatever we need to hear, kind of softening the harsh truth, just so we can keep believing in a love we desperately want to be real.
And that's exactly what this memoir is all about. It's described as a return to the untamed self. Think of this explainer today as kind of like your personal roadmap. If you've ever felt like you're stuck in the messy, completely non-linear journey of emotional healing, well, Lambert's reflections offer a lantern to help guide you back to who you really are, underneath all that exhausting people-pleasing and pretending.
All right, part one, the truth about self-deception.
In this first phase of the transformational arc, we're really digging into the quiet grief of slowly losing yourself in the name of love. Lambert uses this absolutely fascinating metaphor, calling herself a painter of illusions. She writes, red flags don't turn white, they turn into wounds. It's so easy to take those glaring, bright red flags, the inconsistency, the distance, the weird silences, and wash them in a soft, forgiving white so they look harmless. But the reality? Well, every single time we silence our gut to paint over those warning signs, we're bruising our own spirit.
Because the true cost of compromise, it doesn't happen all at once, right? It starts with tiny little shifts, softening your voice, dimming your needs, shrinking your boundaries, apologizing way too quickly, and just accepting too little. So I kind of want to invite you to reflect for a second. Have you ever busted your back trying to earn love that literally should have been freely given? Or measured your own worth by how much pain you could handle, just hoping that eventually someone would finally choose you?
Which brings us to this monumental realization. Grief comes either way. One grief destroys you and the other sets you free. Staying in a toxic dynamic just because you're terrified of the pain of letting go, that's the ultimate self-betrayal. You aren't actually avoiding grief by staying, you're just picking the grief that slowly erodes your identity over the grief that, yeah, it hurts like crazy, but it ultimately sets you free.
So let's move into part two, rising from the wreckage. This is the turning point. It's where she stops making excuses, stops painting those red flags white, and finally starts gathering up her broken pieces. We almost always think of strength as having this thick skin, right? Like never falling apart, never letting anyone see the cracks. But actual real strength, it's choosing to keep your heart open after it's been completely shattered. It's gathering your pieces with tenderness instead of just hardening into stone. We're totally redefining strength here, moving away from having to be an unbreakable wall and embracing the quiet, profound resilience of just waking up and trying again. And that leads to this incredibly empowering, bold declaration. Today, I become the storm. I love this. It's the exact moment Lambert stops waiting for the universe or some partner to swoop in and save her. She realizes, wait, I am a force of nature, and I'm allowed to take up space. And she's not a destructive storm either. She's the kind of storm that clears the muggy air, transforms the landscape, and completely washes away what just doesn't belong anymore.
There is a really stark contrast here between just surviving on autopilot and truly living. Waiting? Well, waiting keeps you small, it keeps you silent, and leaves you hoping for circumstances that just aren't meant for you. But moving? Moving is acting. It's actively choosing yourself and clearing away all that baggage. It's the core difference between sitting around hoping life changes and becoming the storm that actually changes it.
Okay, moving right along to part three, awakening to true freedom. Now we're shifting gears from the basic survival mechanics of healing into this active, joyous choice to fully live your life. Reclaiming your spark isn't passive. It requires specific, actionable choices. Choosing life again means sitting down for genuinely honest conversations with yourself. It's about those deep, late-night talks that end up covering everywhere that matters. It's literally dancing in the kitchen to loud music, taking road trips without a GPS, and yeah, chasing sunsets. It's about pulling the plug on the endless wait for someday and intentionally soaking up the magic of your life right now.
So, how do we actually get there? Well, it's a deliberate process to find that untamed self. Step one, you have to strip away all those heavy layers of expectation.
Step 2, unburden yourself from the world's endless demands. And Step 3, honor your own desires without a single apology. This is the exact step-by-step process of uncovering that wild, beautiful, free version of yourself that honestly has always been right there, just hiding beneath the heartbreak.
Now, I want you to consider a pretty profound question. What happens when love finally feels safe? We've talked a ton about the solitary solo work of healing, but this question totally bridges the gap. It takes us from the author's individual journey of self-discovery right into her experiencing a healthy, really grounding partnership. Which brings us to our final section, Part 4, Becoming Whole and Loved. See, finding yourself isn't just some solitary woo-woo exercise, it's the absolute prerequisite for finding a healthy love with someone else. And the author points out something super important here. Time alone doesn't actually heal you, it just creates distance. True intentional healing requires a very deliberate process of picking up the pieces. First, you have to acknowledge the parts of yourself you abandoned along the way. Second, you gotta hold your own heart with compassion, not constant criticism. And third, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for choices you made back when you simply didn't know any better.
Let's just take a quick second to really let this sink in. The love I was searching for was never meant to come from someone else. It was meant to come from me. Wow. The crucial takeaway here is that true wholeness means coming home to yourself. It means relearning how to trust your own gut, your own intuition, and finally realizing that you absolutely do not need to be validated or chosen by someone else to be enough.
When you understand that, it builds a crystal clear contrast between the chaos we often mistake for passion and real, healthy love. Toxic love is this intense, crazy whirlwind. It's chaotic, it constantly demands a performance from you, and it forces you to shrink just to fit inside it. But steady love is a sanctuary. It feels safe, it's grounding, and it just stands right beside you in the quiet moments, letting you be soft without any fear of judgment.
So what does actual accountability and emotional maturity look like in a relationship? Well, a love that chooses to heal means actually sitting together in the uncomfortable truth. It's saying the hard things, but saying them with softness. It means listening to your partner without instantly preparing a defense in your head, apologizing without tacking on a bunch of excuses, and actively changing the behaviors that cause harm. Real love, it doesn't run from the truth. It makes space for it, and it grows because of it.
And while yes, we absolutely must do the work to heal ourselves first, there is just profound strength to be found in a true partnership. The heart rises strongest when it rises with another. It is incredibly powerful to find a relationship that acts as a real shelter during life's inevitable storms, a place where two people stop keeping score against each other and instead start fighting for the relationship together.
And it all comes full circle, finding beauty in the breaking and wildness in the stillness. Lambert's story isn't just a memoir you read and put down. It's a genuine invitation. It's a call to your own awakening, urging you to finally listen to that inner voice you might have been silencing for years.
So I'm going to leave you with this one provocative question to chew on. Are you ready to stop painting your red flags white and finally come home to yourself? It's a tough thought, I know, but taking that very first radically honest step is literally the only way to end the self-deception and truly become wild, beautiful, and free. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. I really hope it sparked some amazing insights for you to reflect on. Keep learning, keep growing, and I will catch you next time.